KCJJ, 8 minutes after 8 o'clock. John Balmer, former mayor of Iowa City, is here.
Disgruntled Yankee fan?
Yes, thank you. We won't talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Yankees.
No. I want to fire the manager and general manager. Thank you.
Typical fan.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tomorrow's the election, and it's one of those elections where people really need to get out and vote because there's a lot of serious issues going on here.
For sure. I'm afraid it's a very low-key campaign so far, but that's because we only have one local media outlet, KCJJ. We have no print media. So this is what bothers me, that the citizens aren't being given the information they need to digest. But I'm here to try to help you.
Well, it used to be easy to access. Now voters have to dig for it.
Yes, that's correct. And it's a great segue to follow Sheriff Kunkel and talk about public safety. That it in itself is a basic service. It's a high priority, and that's why I'm endorsing the incumbents, Bruce Teague, Megan Alder, and Sean Harmson. They have supported the city manager's budget proposals for public safety, i.e. the police department specifically. How do I know that? I sit at a budget deliberation before the fiscal year, July 1st, where this was discussed extensively, and 3 of the council members actively sought to take money from public safety. They're not running, Ms. Burgess, Mr. Weiland, and Ms. Sala. That was a disturbing thing to me because that to me is a very high priority, and we need to be protecting the community. Now, granted, they can make the policies, but I think the city manager generally has a pretty good handle on the budget needs, and in consult with the police chief, comes up with reasonable numbers. And I think the community needs to know that. And at least the 3 incumbents who are on the ballot, along with Mr. Moe, supported the city manager.
Well, Burgess doesn't believe that we need law enforcement, basically.
Well, she made that statement in 2021, and I've got it in writing. That's exactly right. She made that comment, and that was very concerning to me at the time, and it still is. And she's an advocate for taking money from the police. And I think our county attorney has spoken very forcefully to this in a letter to the editor about the need for this coordination between the local law enforcement agencies, especially as it relates to domestic violence. The people now, unfortunately, are using weapons to settle disputes, and we need trained officers to take care of these situations.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, how the police departments in Iowa City, Coralville, North Liberty, they're becoming skilled at de-escalating situations, and it is a skill that has to be learned. It's not, coming straight off out of police academy and learning how to do that. It's part psychology and it's part law enforcement, but it's definitely something, and the idea that you should reduce the police force seems to me kind of counterproductive when the population keeps growing.
Well, and that's especially true, Jim. That's a good point. And I would also like to make the observation that the Iowa City Home Builders Association has endorsed the 3 incumbents, and one of their reasons, a strong reason, is that their members are concerned about, obviously, vandalism at their building sites, and they know the need of adequate police protection. And so I think people should be aware of that also. But again, it's not gotten much publicity.
Yep, and of course the other, you talk about public safety and just the idea of having, adequately equipped police vehicles. They're on the road a lot, and they wear out, so they need to be replaced. And the city does their best to keep them up, as we all know, but. There's capital expenses that need to be done, and you got to keep your police officers by paying them well.
No question, and I think we have a highly skilled police department. We have a very good police chief. I think they're They have made remarkable strides. And I'm concerned about the discussion that's ensuing here. In fact, I was behind a car here last week. A young gentleman was driving, and he had the usual bumper stickers on about, free Palestine, et cetera, et cetera. And one of them was defund the Iowa City PD. That was troublesome to read that on somebody's car.
Well, it didn't help with the jail situation, and I don't understand why it wasn't a good deal to combine the two.
Yep.
And yet, and I understand the sheriff's position wholeheartedly. When people come, they don't need a jail. We heard that from the person on the Board of Supervisors. We heard it from Burgess. We don't need a jail. I don't know what they expect to do with all the abusers. We've had murders here. I mean, it's this lie that's been told since I have been here for 30-some years, that all we're doing is arresting kids smoking pot or drinking, which is far from the truth. I mean, they might go through the process if they really ask for it for 8 hours. Well, they really do have to ask for it anymore. The police don't want to deal with that. So they go through the process for 8 hours, and they're out of there. There's some really mean, vile people in that jail.
No question about it, Steve. That's a great point. I think the city missed a golden opportunity there. I'm disappointed in the mayor because he could have pushed that through. The site was what he was concerned about, and frankly, I like the proposed site where the bus barn currently is. I'm a resident down there with our business, and they're talking about an old landfill. Well, that's true, but they can build on those old landfills. Mm-hmm. In fact, if you go on that whole southern tier where Village Inn is, that's old landfill too. But there are still bad people out there that need to be incarcerated. You're absolutely correct. And the jails aren't going to go away. We've helped build probably some county jails because of all the prisoners we've had to ship out of here.
Right. And they pay a fee to the counties that they move the overcrowded, the overflow to.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And, there's cost associated with driving the prisoners to those areres. I mean, it all adds up.
You got to pick them up for court dates and take them back and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's millions of dollars. So the idea that you're not going to need a facility to incarcerate people is not working in the real world at all.
Well, and Steve's been there, Tommy's been there, probably you've been there. You know that the building itself is
falling apart.
It's decaying.
Yeah. Well, we were visitors. He was actually.
No. No. I was just a visitor. No, it's and what concerns me, and the sheriff was absolutely right to do what he did. I didn't blame him in any way, shape, or form. And some of the media made the big deal that he had pulled the plug. No, he didn't. The Iowa City Council did not endorse where it should have gone, and they actually pulled their support. I mean, 3 of the members didn't want it anyway. But I think it's important because if we'd have gone with a joint facility, it would have only required a 50 plus 1% of the vote. Now, with just a jail, it's going to require 60%. Do I think that can be secured? I hope so, but each time we've gotten close but have never made it over the top, and I am concerned about that aspect. I hope we can resurrect that joint facility, facility option, because to me that makes the most sense.
Yeah, and economically, the studies have already said, you're going to save this amount of money if you combine the services. If you do 2 standalone buildings, you're going to pay this much more.
Well, and the city has no jail facility right now. Hasn't had for a long time, and They probably won't either unless they build a new facility. I mean, that's not going to happen.
Okay, so even though you're endorsing Teague, you had a problem with.
Yes, I expressed that to the mayor. I mean, I respect the mayor, but by the same token, I said, you can help get this through, and you should. I didn't agree with his reasoning for not putting it on that site. I just thought, I'd like to see a building there on that site, and you can make these buildings attractive. They don't have to look like some facility that isn't attractive. But I think that was a mistake on the city's part. I really do, and I think they've missed a golden opportunity. And I couldn't blame the sheriff at all. I think he had to do what he had to do.
Well, you've seen what they've done, with the ambulance service. They upgraded the building there. The maintenance garage down here by True Blood.
Yes,
beautiful facility.
Absolutely. You can make these buildings look presentable.
Presentable. That's, you don't want a Taj Mahal, but you don't want it to look like just bricks and concrete blocks.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And a tar roof.
That's true. But my concern is that people aren't focusing on this election. I've felt that for some time, and people say to me, "Well, you're a former council member. You ought to go away, just like the old generals. Fade away." Well, I'm sorry. I've got too much invested in this community, personally and professionally. I had 8 years plus in my life as a mayor and council member, and plus a year and a half as I was filled an unexpired term. So. Yeah, I still have a real commitment to this community, as Captain Steve does.
Well, you put all this money. Well, I mean, seriously, you put all this money into the community, your business. You hire people from the community. We're putting out a lot of money every year. Businesses, small businesses, putting out a lot of money every year to be in the community and be a part of the community.
That's right.
Yeah.
Pay my taxes. We pay our taxes, have for years, and believe in it. Might not agree sometimes with it, but it's that's part of the your civic rent, so to speak.
Well, that's a good segue, because one of the things on the ballot tomorrow is the local option sales tax.
Correct, and I am supportive of that. I think that is something that we need to look at, because that way we will garner some revenue that is coming into this community. And the thing I like about it too is that it'll hopefully keep the lid on property taxes. I mean, that's the idea.
Well, half of the money goes to property tax relief.
Yes, and everybody can, those skeptics can say, "Oh yeah, sure, that just means more spending."
Well, and they pull out the regressive tax thing, and the fact of the matter is, none of and this is another lie that they tell. They say, you're going to be paying more at the grocery store and et cetera. You're not. None of the essentials that you purchase are going to be affected. Basically, those games, each game, $100 million comes into this community. Okay? A lot of those are visitors. They're the ones that are paying that tax.
So your motel stays,
restaurants,
and then shopping for clothes and things like that. Those are included, but your groceries, your medications.
That's right.
I don't think it applies to gasoline purchases.
That's correct.
Yeah. So I mean, those are the basic things, and the old, well, it's just a penny. Well, it all adds up. Yes, that's true. But this is a growing community, and almost every other large city in the state has a local option sales tax, and Iowa City, Coralville, and North Liberty all three have them on the ballot.
Interesting enough, Tiffin does have it.
Yep.
So it's interesting.
Well, this county went from, when I came here, 120,000 people to now it's 161 30 years later. That's a lot of growth in that. I mean, it seems like a long time. It really isn't. That's a lot of growth for this community, and they expect to add another 15 in the next 10 years.
And that's what we want. We want growth in the community. But you're right. We have to have the services. And police, fire are essential to this community, obviously, and they're your basic infrastructure with, water, sewer, and everything like that. So, but public safety is a key component to that, and people need to feel secure in their homes, in their businesses, And to that end, that's why we need, I'm not for, I'm a fiscal conservative, but I'm not one that wants to pinch pennies either when it comes to those basic services. And I'm not giving them an open checkbook necessarily either, but by the same token, your city manager is your professional. That person, you need to listen to that person as a public. Seriously, I was an elected public official, and it was a part-time position. I was representing the community, but I listened to that individual. We gave that individual our general marching orders, but other than that, you're paying that person very well to do that job.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jeff has done a great job for Iowa City.
Terrific. Yeah. I'm a strong supporter of Jeff Ronan. He's really, I don't think people appreciate enough, but he's one of those that wants to fly under the radar. He doesn't want to overshadow the council members who are technically his boss. But you look at some of the gains we're making. Look at Procter and Gamble. They're expanding here. I think we should be celebrating things of that nature. And with that, certainly we need expanded services. So yeah, that's just one of many.
Well. We just had a story about the early voting, and it is up from 2 years ago, and it looks like it'll surpass 2021.
Okay.
At the end of the day, because they're about 150 short of what they had all total in 2021, and I'm sure there'll probably be 100 to 200 people voting early today at the auditor's office, and then across the street at the Health and Human Services building, and just drive right up. I did that on Friday.
That is so easy.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I've told people repeatedly, I've said, something may come up on election day. Go down and vote early. It's so easy to do. And, these people that say, well, my vote doesn't count. Nah, let me tell you, that's not true. Several years ago, there was a council candidate, Mr. Cantor, that won by 3 votes. Mm-hmm. And I think if people had to do it over again, they'd change that vote.
It didn't work out well.
No.
As Steve, I remember.
Steve, you weren't on the ballot then, I don't think.
Hell, I didn't work out well either.
His intentions were good.
Oh, yeah. He's a good community person.
Well, the election is tomorrow, obviously. I think the hours are, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.? Or is it the other way around, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.?
I think it's 7 p.m. to 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's going to be a nice day, and so people can get out. There's no excuses, truly. I really get irritated with those people that don't vote, and there's a number of them, and some of them don't ever tell me they don't vote because they know I'll react accordingly. But, that's your civic duty. I mean, truly. What other thing in this great country of ours do we have to express our opinion?
Yeah, and that's for sure.
Besides being on KCJJ.
Calling into Hawk Fanatic.
Yeah. Yes. No, gentlemen, I'm serious. I truly appreciate you being here because otherwise I don't know what we do. Seriously.
Well,
it's all Steve.
What? Well, Steve ain't getting any younger.
Neither am I, Steve. You and I are the same age.
Yeah, I woke up the other day to the tune of "Don't Fear the Reaper," so that was a bad sign. Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me, gentlemen. I really appreciate it.
Mighty 1630 KCJJ